Hello and welcome to the Ectohead channel. This week I'd like to revisit the disappearance of Colonel Bill McCasland. It turns out that his one-time colleague, Monica Reza, has vanished also. She vanished about a year ago. She vanished on a hike. Apparently she was on a hike with a friend. They were separated by some small distance. He looked back to check on her. She looked up and waved. When he looked back and checked on her again a few moments later, she was gone. Apparently, never to be seen again. Why am I talking about another person in association with Colonel Bill McCasland? Well, Monica Reza was his colleague. And not only was she his colleague, but she worked on the UFO question with Colonel Bill McCasland. At this point, you're asking yourself, what are the chances that two people who once worked years ago on the UFO problem vanishing under the same circumstances? Well, strangely enough, I'm asking myself exactly the same question. Now, historically, we all know about people who are whistleblowers, people who have worked in the UFO field in an official capacity have had issues. The kind of issues that go along with stories of men in black, with being threatened. David Grush gave his account of a brush with these individuals, saying that upon returning to his home after a trip out, things had been moved around, things weren't right. And he's not alone. Many other people have had outright threats levelled at them, as well as having their careers and personal lives destroyed. Let me tell you now, if you're in an official position and you get involved in the UFO problem, then the UFO problem is going to make problems for you. And we must consider in the disappearances of Monica Reza and Colonel Bill McCasland that there are some very dark forces at work. Now, the details surrounding Colonel Bill McCasland's disappearance are quite well known at this point. He didn't take a weapon, but that wasn't unusual. He didn't take his phone, and that was unusual. But as a military man, you could reasonably consider the fact that maybe he was going to a meeting and didn't want to be tracked. And what a better way to have a secret meeting than to just go on a hike somewhere out in the forest where nobody can overhear you. Was a secret meeting under the guise of a normal everyday hike the reason for his disappearance? Sadly, we may never know. What we do know, however, is that we have two missing people who were colleagues at one point and worked on the UFO question. And ufology, being the bag of cats we know it to be, is never one to shy away from a tinfoil hat conspiracy. Because conspiracy theory has all too often turned into conspiracy fact. I must say, it makes a welcome change from being killed by suicide. No, let's not do that this time, lads. Let's just disappear them both. They'll both go out on a hike and we can just pick them off. Or was this something entirely different? Were these two disappearances of Monica Reza and Colonel Bill McCasland in fact planned by Monica Reza and Bill McCasland? Maybe something in the work they're doing was so deeply important, so utterly incredible, that it required them to be no longer here with their families, living normal lives. And in the month since Bill McCasland has been missing, he's reunited with Monica Reza, and they are working on the problem all over again, in secrecy, in some shadowy military facility somewhere. When it comes to these thorny issues in ufology, nothing is off the table. I would, however, be surprised if we actually found McCasland's body. And if we do find it, what condition will it be in? I think, rather like the many stories that David Polides has told about some of the poor individuals who've gone missing under mysterious circumstances but then been found with their bodies strangely mangled. The official report surrounding Colonel Bill McCasland's death will be classified, and we will never find out the details. If indeed Monica Reza and Colonel Bill McCasland just did find themselves somehow confused and lost in the forest, and that ended up in their untimely demise, then my thoughts go with them on their journey onwards and upwards. One thing's for sure, wherever they are now, they probably know all the answers. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe, and share. It really would help the channel. And until next time, bye-bye.